For me, it was very refreshing to have someone that understood what I wanted, dynamic with my situation, and made it happen. Australia's been a home for me for probably the past 7 years now. So it's always been somewhere I've fallen in love with. And I just wanted to find another way to make it home. I've had to be fairly creative and dynamic, as you know from my background. And one thing I found was to study something which will give me the material, the paperwork, to actually convert my experience to be recognised by the Australian government. And hopefully then go forward into making life here in Australia. For me, it was very refreshing to have someone that understood what I wanted, dynamic with my situation, and made it happen. So from the initial outlay, I found yourselves on Facebook, made a contact with your colleague, and then came through back to yourself, told you about my situation, what I wanted to do. Then we had a meeting, and then we arranged to find a course. We found a course that fitted in with my goals, and then you actioned everything into place for me. You asked for my papers, for my previous history in the UK where I'm born, but really very, very easy. Yeah, I mean, just very easy transition, and as soon as I came back it was all ready to go. I just walked into school and began my time. A fun experience, good experience, very, very slick, easy, quick. The ideal thing I can say with what you found me is it's very dynamic. I can really be very flexible with my holiday times. The structure of the course is really very easy in terms of attendance. It's not like a 5-day-a-week course, so I can still run my different things on the side and also still be completely legitimate, So yeah, my plan's to basically have business over in Australia. I also run a business overseas on cruise ships, and so I have a very fixed schedule of vacations, which is ideal. So I work out the times I can leave the country and go on my ships, and then when I come back to Australia I don't have to work. So that's a really nice thing. So actually when I'm here I do my couple of days a week study, and then the rest of the time is mine to enjoy Australia. I'm originally born in the UK, and I grew up there, and my background has always been in sales and business, car sales, the majority. And you get caught in the rat race, and you don't realise how badly you want to change until something happens. And it was a relationship breakdown I had in the UK that made me want to run away. I ran away and I found a job on cruise ships, working in the stores on cruise ships. And it allowed me at 21 years old just to be a completely different guy and find myself. I travelled the world, and that travelling brought me to Australia. And as soon as I hit Australia, I had some friends from the ships who brought me here and set me up and showed me around, and I said I want to make it home. And so that's where it became. So, this experience is almost built to put me where I am today. But at the same time, it's really a complete shift in whatever I came from. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. And no matter what you do in Australia, the lifestyle makes it much more enjoyable. Yeah, I can say that. No matter what you do, even though I could be a sales guy here, it's so much more enjoyable because the environment is just so phenomenal. Well, look, I have spare time, but one of my main hobbies is business and online businesses. So that's something I'm really working with. A lot of my time goes into that. But apart from that, I enjoy just having time with my friends, cooking food. Food is my one thing. And so, we'll always have these big social events, and there's barbecues outside, on the beach. You just rock up, you cook your barbecue and you drive off, and it's very special. You know, we have little coffee shops on the water by my house, and I just go and hang out by the coffee shop. I mean, it's not a hobby. I mean, I enjoy, you know, many different things, but the lifestyle itself is enough to be a hobby, you know. Where I live is Newcastle, which is a couple of hours north of Sydney on the train. So I actually travel into the city. But there's nothing up there that you can actually, there's TAFE and things like this, but there's not anything that's dynamic and going forward to what I want to do. So that's why I travel down here. In terms of the scene in Newcastle, it's an amazing place to live, and rent's much cheaper, and it's very, very relaxed. Compared to Sydney, Sydney's a bit of a rat race, I can say, but at the same time it's got the backpackers, it's got the affluence, the excitement, the rich people, it's got Vaucluse, Bondi, you know, Coogee. It's got all these amazing places, but at the same time, it's got all the really cool hipster hangouts too. I love it for the aesthetics. I mean, you can't beat that harbour on a sunny day, gelato in hand, a beer of the night. It's phenomenal. Every time you come here, I put a picture up of the Opera House in the sun. You can't beat it. It never gets old. I think people are over seeing pictures of opera houses though. But yeah, and then even for us as a base, it's really nice because Sydney is so close to Brisbane. Sydney is so close to Melbourne. Sydney is so close to the Hunter Valley. So even where I live, I can be an hour in Brisbane, an hour and 15 I'm in Melbourne. You know, it's just such a good little spot. Yeah, and Sydney itself is, it's awesome. Well, the reason I'm where I am today, whatever people might think of that, is because I don't say no. I'm very much an Australian at heart. I'll have a go at anything. I'll give it a crack. You know, and for me, if you don't like it, there's a flight and you turn around and you go back the other way. All I can say is hand on heart, you know, I'm not sure that I've ever met anyone who doesn't want to be here and make a life here. The only thing that would draw people back is family, because it is such a long way away. With a few clicks of a button and a few emails, I walked back into Sydney, I walked straight into my class with the address, and I started my course. It was very, very easy. And in terms of the lifestyle here, the people are so accepting of foreigners as well. It's just a normal thing. It's a big city where everyone here is traveling. Even with money, you don't have to have so much money to be here, you know. I didn't come here with much more than about $300. And I had a very good friend who took me in Tasmania, and then I worked my way from there, you know. And if you come here with money, there's no drive. You've got to come here without, I think, and enjoy the journey, you know. People have a bad time sometimes. They come here and they find it tough because it's expensive, and they can't get into a group to meet people to find a place to rent. But as soon as you're in and you've got a place to rent and everything becomes comfortable, you've got a job, the lifestyle really opens up, you know. And Australia is very accommodating, accepting, you know. And so like, oh, you haven't got a bed? Crash here for a few days. And then once that's done, crash here. It's very temporary, you know, but I don't think there's much permanence in Australia.